Salam alaikum to some, and peace to all. Kuntree Black here, narrating this for you, since Jet Black is busy marking papers his students wrote. This gentleman goes by the moniker Quiet Step for this story, and he is telling this in reaction to Storytime 11, the last story that Todd emailed about Maya getting herself taken out for dinner, literally by something he couldn't identify. Here is Quiet's story. Jet, call me Quiet Step. That's not my real name, but it's enough. I heard Todd's story on your channel, and I've got one of my own. It doesn't have animals in the woods, but the lesson feels the same. Maybe somebody listening needs to hear it, because you yourself said that some of these hoes aren't for the streets, they're for the zoo. Later, you said that some of them aren't for the zoo, they're for the jungle. This applies to my story. I know firsthand that good women who go bad don't reform until it's too late. I had a high school sweetheart once. We both came from good homes, both sets of parents educated, working hard, raising us to do better than they did. She was beautiful and bold, the type everybody noticed. For a while, I thought that was forever. When we got to college, we matured, then she regressed. Then she kept on devolving even further than she had ever descended. I focused on classes, internships, building something solid. She drifted back toward the crowd we'd grown up with but didn't hang out with, the ones who didn't leave, who wanted to live out the stereotype. Parties, parking lot brawls, chasing clout instead of goals. She liked the attention they gave her. Maybe she always had, but it took until junior year of college for her to show it. When our first high school reunion rolled around, we were in the summer between junior and senior years, but I learned why she had another semester to go as a junior. She wanted me to go with her to the reunion, and I thought it was harmless. But soon as we stepped inside, I saw the game. She wanted me to prove myself to them, not to her. See, as my girlfriend and confidant, she knew what I knew about some of these dudes, and I knew what she knew about the girls and women from the high school. This is why I know something was up about her nudging me toward old faces, smiling when they got in my ear, daring me with her eyes to swing. She wanted to test my courage, Jet, but on her terms. In this nigga world, we left behind already. She chose the worst dudes to nudge me to talk to, including an old enemy, just because he was an enemy before. She picked the thugs from class days to go drink with, even though they weren't wilding out at all at the reunion. Hell, we got along all right. But why did Rick come tell me she was telling his girl that I needed to stop being scared? Scared of what? She told his girl that I was scared to come to the reunion, scared of the old football players. I had never had problems with any of them except two of them over driving incidents, and that lasted all of 12 seconds at the worst. I didn't have issues with the thugs growing up, and now they were just regular looking dudes at a high school reunion 3 years later. What had gotten into her? I started thinking back to the winter break before, when she started listening to drill rap more, but she didn't really seem much different since then, except she failed one of the classes in her major and didn't really stress about it that much. She went to the club with her girls on Saturday night sometimes, but that actually was a good thing. I knew them chicks. Good crowd for the most part. It was when she stopped going out that I should have thought something was up. It hit me then. That's when I understood. She had been going out on weeknights with someone that wasn't her normal crew that I knew from before. That's why she was at home with me on the weekends, but she wasn't studying that much. During the week, while I was studying and working, she was out. She was becoming someone else. She was becoming who her parents didn't want her to be, who she at one time didn't want to be, and I could tell by how the women that were bad news to her in high school greeted her at the reunion. She had seen them recently, many times since graduation day. She was becoming them more than they were themselves. This new version of her didn't want the man I was becoming. She wanted me to play into the story too many of us get trapped in. She wanted me to risk my life, my future, for some twisted idea of manhood. This was why she was trying to tell Ricky's girl I was scary and thought I was better. I had never been in Urkel or a Carlton, just under the radar getting my shit done, and here this bitch was painting me out in a way that any dude in high school that knew me wouldn't know she was talking about me. I had Ricky call his girl while they were still talking, and Ricky asked her if she wanted him to box me up for mistreating her, and I was like, Ricky, I ain't done nothing to her. Ricky shushed me and said silently below the music, Nigga, I know that. Let me see something right quick. His girl heard the question, and we could see her across the gym anyway. So we saw her hold the phone to her chest and ask my girlfriend something. And my girlfriend looked up like she was about to cry to God, looked back at Ricky's girlfriend, then nodded her raggedy ass head. Ricky and I both saw it. And so his girl got back on the line and said, she said, go on ahead and do it. Ricky hung up and gave me a hug and said, Man, I wish it hadn't been this way, but the way she was talking, I thought she had another nigga or something, and the last I knew you was with her since 11th grade. I know we didn't see each other a whole lot back in school, but if you need to talk to someone about this, I got you. I ain't trying to ruin anything, but some dudes just don't deserve this. I had a chick call the cops on me, and I ain't did nothing to her, and I don't want you going through what I did. I was about to take a bus from county to the big house for that, but her daughter said I never hit anyone. So I walked, broke up with her right there under the buzzing lights and thumping music of that school gym. She cried, called me weak, said I wasn't man enough. It was 4 years down the drain, and I hated to do it, but I saw her answer the question from across the gym with a lie, and I didn't even tell her the reason at that time. She wanted me to get into some shit to prove I wasn't a softie after she had been with me for 4 years already. I had never been a pushover, and truth is, she had never been that boundary testing type either. The biggest change in me from high school was that I was a better student in college, so what does that tell you? Her own sister later told me that she was out with a different crowd, not on the weekends, but during the school week, and that when Asian Doll said she only dates men with at least 3 bodies, my ex said, I know, right? We all need a killer in our life. To the young brothers listening, you need to understand this. Not everybody clapping for you is on your side. Some will try to test you, to push you into fights that only end one way. They'll call it courage. They'll call it love. But really, it's a trap. If you know better, do better. Don't be afraid to walk away, even if it breaks your heart. Better to break your heart than to break your future. That's all I've got. Todd's story and mine are different, but the warning is the same. Silence can save you. Walking away can save you, but chasing somebody else's idea of courage will only destroy you. Protect the ones that don't abuse your protection. Don't protect the ones that insist on getting you into those situations. Don't protect boundary testers and line crossers. Thanks for reading this, Jet. I would go more into detail, but I could only send you 5 through Cash App, so this is plenty long enough to teach the lesson. I'm with an upper-class woman from Rwanda now, and she simply doesn't do ghetto at all. I try to stay positive about the future, but I always remember that my ex didn't do ghetto at one point in time either, and I try to plan a future for my current and me outside the West, where that temptation is less or nil. Stay black. Signed, Quiet Step.